TGIF, we got a huge slate in the MLB. Let's talk some scene. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we are back to talk some more MLB action. It was a winning day, smaller winning day, but you know what? We'll take it after that rough Thursday that we had, or rough Wednesday, sorry. So anyways, we'll go over the recap in just a little bit. Quick reminder, if you haven't followed the channel or anything in a while, I don't do weekend videos like normal, but I still give out best bets. And some of you guys have been asking where. They're going to be in 3 places: on the post tab of our YouTube page, on X, and on Discord. By the way, all free places to go check it out because that's just how we roll here. So anyways, Outlier, you guys know I use this app every single day. Any graphics you see in this video are from Outlier. Click that link below in the description. You get a 7-day free trial. You got absolutely nothing to lose. Go try it out. And then if you have any questions, feel free to shoot some at me as well. So let's get into it. And I got an MLB fun fact. This is actually wild. In 2 different seasons, Greg Maddux, if you don't know, Hall of Fame pitcher, had a higher batting average himself than he allowed to batters. In 1994, he hit 222. It was in like 65 ABs, and he allowed a 207 average against. 1998, he hit 240 and allowed a 220 average against. Again, insane. Anyways, in this video, we're going to recap yesterday, and then we're going to go over the good and bad hitter matchups. And it's Friday, and it's been a while, so we're going to head out to the pen. That's right, we're going to talk the top and bottom bullpens in the last 3 weeks. And then we'll talk pitcher strikeout matchups, the entire pitcher report, and of course, we will finish it with those best bets and the recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below. Helps this channel continue to grow. If you're new to the channel, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Come join this awesome community. Take a sip of that coffee. Let's let the baseball journey begin, and that means it's recap time. All right, here it is, the winning day, and we start out with the over 8 runs, Phillies-Jays. Good thing I didn't go Phillies team total because they were awful, but the Blue Jays carried it, and they go over in that one. Pretty easy winner there. Guardians and Pirates team total under 4.5 runs each. Guys, the team total parlays have continued to cash for us. Half unit play there. Wish I did a unit, but total they scored 2 runs, not 6. Guardians got shut out. I mentioned I wouldn't be surprised if some of these 2 teams got shut out. Well, the Guardians did. Pirates scored 2. Tigers minus 1.5. What a terrible bet and what a terrible game by them. They didn't play Riley Green. He had the day off. But their offense couldn't get it going. They had chances in the 10th inning. They blew it, didn't sacrifice guys over, et cetera, et cetera. And then the White Sox just won it in the 10th inning. So it is what it is. Noah Cameron, my goodness, 5 straight starts to start his career at 6+ innings. He gets the job done pretty easily. And then I tried something different. I wanted to do under a half a run each, and I loved this one. But Josh Rojas, the 7-hitter for the White Sox, scored a flipping run. I don't even know how. He's done it. He scored a run in like 3 of his whatever games he's played this year. I mean, it has not been often. Mike Yastrzemski didn't do anything. I think he came in to pinch hit, so he didn't even start. But either way, we're going to probably try some of these under half a runs, maybe under half a RBIs or something, props. But speaking of RBIs, we went 1-1. And when you got plus money, that's all you need for some profit. Kyle Raleigh, 1+ RBI, had more than one. I'll tell you that. He hit a homer and also had an RBI single. He is just absolute beast playing on a team that absolutely sucks. James Wood, 1+ RBI, he had a chance. It was he had a guy in second and third, I believe it was, 2 out, maybe bases loaded. And I think he flew out, just didn't get it done, but he had the opportunity. So we'll take it. There's the RBI props. Like I said, we won just under a half a unit, so small winning day overall. But nice to bounce back from that brutal Wednesday. So that's what we got for the recap. Now let's talk some hitters. All right, we got 14 good hitter matchups for you today, starting out with the big boy, Rowdy Tellez, 9 for 24, the home run off Kyle Hendricks. You're going to see a lot of Mets on here because why not? They are facing the human batting practice, Antonio Senzatella. Lindor, 5 for 15. Pete Alonso, 5 for 14. See Marte, 7 for 13 down there. Nimmo, 4 for 11 over there on the right. And end it with Taylor on the bottom, 4 for 7. They're all over the place. Then we got a couple Orioles. Adley Rutschman starting to swing the bat a little bit better lately, finally. 4 for 10 with a couple bombs off J.P. Sears, and Gunnar Henderson, 5 for 9 with a home run off Sears as well. And then you see O'Neill Cruz and some other guys like Freddie Freeman over there on the left, 5 for 14. And then all the rest of the guys. So take a screenshot. Hopefully this helps you get some winners. Now let's take a look at the bad hitter matchups. And here we go. Ahmed Rosario. How about 3 for 31 with 5 Ks off Corbin? How do you go? I could go 3 for 31. I mean, probably not, but still, that's not very good. And then you got some other guys, Jeff McNeil and McCutcheon. Not any crazy matchups here. And Kike Hernandez, if I could talk, 0 for 10, 4 Ks off Sonny Gray. Max Muncy, 1 for 10 with 6 Ks off Sonny Gray. And then we end it with Mateo down there at 1 for 10 with 3 Ks. So that's what we got for all the hitter matchups. And now let's head out to the pen. All right, I like to do this every few weeks. I know you guys ask about it. So I'm going to give you the top 7 bullpens and the bottom 7 bullpens in the last 3 weeks because, it's really hard to keep track. And when you're trying to handicap full game lines, you don't really know who's been pitching well, who's at. Obviously, this also depends, are the best arms available for that game and things like that. But the top 7 ERAs, you might not know it, but the Cubs have a .87 ERA in the last 3 weeks. That is absolutely bonkers. Now, Sierra, if you haven't heard this before, skill interactive earn run average. It eliminates factors the pitcher cannot control and helps predict the ERA moving forward, somewhat like an expected ERA, xFIP, things like that. So the Cubs do have close to a 3.5 Sierra. Obviously getting a little lucky with that .87, but and the Giants obviously 1.66, Blue Jays 1.96, not too shabby there. Rays, Mets, Red Sox, and Padres. And you see the Red Sox there though, 4.4 Sierra, not exactly that great. So I do expect some negative regression from them. Padres seems like they're either top 7 or bottom 7 right now, but 3.01 ERA, 3.78 Sierra. And then the bottom 7 ERAs. Well, the A's are the dead last team. They've won like 2 games in the last 3 years, it feels like. They are horrendous right now. But 8.19 ERA is just so bad. Over an 8 ERA in 3 weeks span is as bad as it gets. 4.34 Sierra. And they see some other teams. The Cardinals struggling. Astros, Pirates, D-backs. D-backs are not a surprise. Reds have actually been struggling quite a bit. Orioles have been kind of down in this bottom 7 practically all year with a 5.5 ERA now. And there's all the rest of the team. So again, hopefully this helps you. Anytime you have suggestions for things that might help you guys with your bets, as long as it's not something that takes hours and hours, I'm all ears. I'm always here to kind of help you guys out as much as possible. So that's what we got for the bullpen report. Now let's talk some strikeouts. All right, we got 2 good pitcher strikeout matchups, and we start with Will Warren. Something I did not think I was going to say at the beginning of the year, but he's facing the Red Sox at home. Red Sox 9th highest K percentage versus righties last 3 weeks, 23.1%. Warren 69 Ks in 52 innings. He has been a strikeout machine. In fact, he had 7+ Ks in 5 straight starts before getting absolutely annihilated in his last start, but it was against the Dodgers. So take that for what it is. He does have a higher K rate at home. How about 32.2% compared to 28.3 on the road, and a much higher K rate versus righties, 35.6 compared to 26.1 versus lefties. Then the second one, Ben Brown is out of town at the Tigers. Detroit, 3rd highest K percentage versus righties last 3 weeks, 24.7. They've been climbing up the charts, that's for sure. Brown, 71 Ks in 56.2 innings this year. In May, he had 2 starts of 4 Ks, and other 4 starts were 9, 8, 6, and 9. So a little bit hit and miss, but lower K rate on the road as well, 23.9 compared to 31% at home. So take that into consideration. Much higher K rate versus lefties, though, 31.76% compared to righties, 24.8. Why might that matter? Well, the Tigers have a lefty-heavy lineup. So anyways, that's what we got for the pitcher strikeout matchups. Now let's take a look at the pitcher report. All right, here are the first 8 matchups of the day. If you're new, we try to give you as much info as possible for every single pitching matchup. We got expected ERA, WHIP, all the way at the right side. We also added home runs per 9 innings, and then all the averages are on the bottom, so you guys have an idea, who's above average, below average, all that kind of stuff. But Edward Scissorhands Cabrera is facing Zach Littell. Cabrera has actually pitched 11.1 consecutive scoreless innings. Not too shabby. And then we got Ross versus Falter. Ross is just going to be an opener for Philly. Falter's been pretty good lately. I'm not going to lie. 3.14 ERA overall in the season. Does not miss many bats, as you guys can see. He only has 2 Ks actually in his last 12 innings versus the Padres and the Brewers. Patrick Corbin, you guys know your buddy Corbin. How about a 3.71 ERA? That is wild. So facing Soroka, but Corbin actually given up 2 to 3 earned runs in 7 of his last 8 starts. And then Soroka, 3+ earned runs given up in 5 of his 6 starts this year. There could be some runs there in Washington. And then we got Ferris Bueller's day off. He got shellacked in his last start. 10 hits and 5 earned runs allowed versus Atlanta. It was not pretty at all. He's just been okay this year. Nothing special. You see a lot of average numbers there. Going up against Will Warren, who, like we just mentioned, also got shellacked by the Dodgers. Didn't get out of the second inning, giving up 6 hits and 7 earned runs. But, he's had these blow-up starts. But like I said, 29.7% K rate, not too shabby. Not giving up a lot of home runs either. And then Eduardo Rodriguez, first start in 3 weeks. And boy, was he bad before that. Giving up 4+ earned runs in 4 of his last 5 starts before that injury. Facing Nick Lodolo, who, let's be honest, it's been up and down. I know you see a nice 3.1 ERA, but really just inconsistent. Great start versus the Cubs last start, though. 6 innings, 5 hits, and 0 earned runs. And then Ben Brown versus Tariq Skubal. Brown all over the place this year. Last 3 starts, 6 earned runs, 8 earned runs, and a 6-inning, 1-hit shutout. So if you don't know much about Brown, he's a 2-pitch guy. Sometimes when one of those pitches aren't working or his command is not quite there, then he can struggle. But he's also got some good stuff. Skubal, 16 consecutive scoreless innings, the best pitcher on the planet. You guys know that. And then we got Gordon of the Astros facing Logan Allen, the lefty. Gordon giving up 3+ earned runs in all 4 starts he's had this year. Logan Allen struggling to go deep into games. Not a really good pitcher, to be honest with you. Really struggles with his command, as you see by that 11.3% walk rate. And then we end page 1 with Seth Lugo versus Davis Martin. Lugo is a very average pitcher, in my opinion. Maybe slightly above average, but he's nothing special. Doesn't miss many bats or anything like that. And then Davis Martin, he's a very low K rate, obviously, 14.4%, but he has only allowed 13 hits in his last 19.1 innings. So that's what we got for page 1. Now let's check out page 2 in the final 7 matchups. And Kevin Gausman, the up and down season continues. 8 hits allowed with 3 earned runs versus the A's in his last start at home. Versus Uber Eats, who we talked about already yesterday, because I think he got moved from Thursday to Friday. But he's been good, obviously, like we talked about, giving up some hits, but still limiting runs, just not missing a ton of bats right now. And then Randy Vasquez, a guy I've made fun of since last year. I watch him pitch, and he's not good. I'll say that. But somehow he doesn't allow a ton of runs. I think he's due for another blow-up game, but does not miss many bats, and that's an understatement. 13.6% K rate. That is only 13.6% higher than me, by the way. Chad Patrick, the rookie, 3 or less earned runs given up in all 13 starts. There will be more on that later. And then Robleski versus Sonny Gray. Robleski hasn't pitched since May 15th, and he will not go deep. Probably 3-4 innings would be my guess. And then Sonny Gray, just another solid season by him. It's all consistent numbers. Pretty impressive by him. Great command, good K stuff. And then Kodai Senga, 2 or less earned runs in 10 of 11 starts. Is due for some negative regression. You see almost a 3.5 expected ERA, but still been really solid. Does not allow home runs. 0.44 home runs per 9. Senzatella, OMG, guys. Giving up 6+ hits in all 12 starts. 7+ hits in 10 of 12 starts. And given up 8 or more hits in 9 of 12 starts. He is absolutely a human batting practice. It is just unreal. And then we got Bryce Miller versus Kyle Hendricks. Miller is going to be his second start since return from the IL. Went 4 innings, gave up 3 earned runs versus Minnesota in his first start, throwing 71 pitches. So keep in mind on the pitch count. And then Hendricks, not a very good thrower of the ball anymore. I'll say that. 3+ earned runs in 8 of his last 9 starts. And then Dean Kramer versus JP Sears. Again, we have some just blah, ugly matchups, to be honest with you, on a Friday. Dean Kramer, though, better in his last 2 starts, but still 13 hits allowed with 1 earned run in the last 11.1 innings. And the lefty JP Sears, been a mess lately. 31 hits and 21 earned runs allowed in his last 17.1 innings. That's bonkers. And then Schwellenbach, starting to see some of that elite stuff that I've been waiting for. A lot of people have been waiting for. He actually has back-to-back games now of 11 strikeouts. Now, both were at home, just something to keep in mind. And he also had 11 Ks. One of those was against the Padres, who never struck out. That was insane. And then we got Hayden Birdsong, now going to be his 4th start of the year as he cracked the rotation again. First 3 starts, 14.2 innings, 15 hits, and 4 earned runs allowed. Just 2 walks. He's been pretty solid, I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, that's what we got for all of the 15 matchups and all the research help. And now it's time for the best bets. All right, this first one is another alt team total parlay. That's right. Let's stay hot with these. -123 on DraftKings for a half unit. Give me the Padres team total under 5.5. Mets team total over 4.5. So let's start with the Padres under 5.5. This offense has struggled for a long time now. You guys know it. Last 3 weeks versus righties. 3rd worst WRC plus in the majors. The White Sox have a better WRC plus versus righties in the last 3 weeks. 2nd lowest batting average, 7th lowest walk rate, 5th lowest ISO power. They do nothing versus righties. In the Padres' 31 road games this year, they are under 5.5 runs in 26 of 31. That is not good. And 2 of those 5 overs, by the way, were in Coors Field. Doesn't count. That means they've only gone over 3 times, or only over this line 3 times on the road when they're not on another planet at Coors Field. Now, they're facing rookie Chad Patrick. Like I mentioned earlier, never given up more than 3 earned runs in any of his 13 starts this year. 2 or less earned runs in 10 of those 13. And he's been great at home. 2.37 ERA, 221 average against, a 4.19 xFIP, which, obviously is going to be due for a little negative regression when you're looking at close to a 2 ERA. But he has an elite 4.4% walk rate at home. You love to see that. I've been burned too many times by guys that cannot throw strikes. Padres under 5.5 runs in 15 of 20 games, also versus a right-handed pitcher. 15 of 18, really, if you're not counting the Coors Field games. And if you don't know already, I tweeted it out. I don't think you say tweet anymore. I X'd it out. I have no idea. Tatis has been awful since May 1st. I mean, he's hitting under 200. His line drive rate has gone down. Everything has gone down. It has been absolutely brutal for him. And the Brewers bullpen after him, after Patrick, it's not great like years past, but they're going to be fully rested. I think they got enough arms at the top of that to get the job done. So give me the Padres team total under 5.5 as my first leg. Second one, Mets over 4.5. Well, they're at Coors Field. Is that enough? It should be. Their team total is 6.5 for a reason, probably even 7.5. I think at like plus 120 or something. Opponents that play in Coors Field are averaging 7.5 runs per game. That is no joke. That is absolutely insane. Just over a touchdown. Mets versus righties in the last 3 weeks, 24th WRC plus. Not great, obviously. They're showing some power, though. 17th ISO power. They haven't been as good as we've all expected, but we know they have the hitters in this lineup with Soto, Pete Alonso, Lindor, all these guys to break out. And let's be honest, a minor league team could score a few runs off Senzatella. I actually mean that. Like a good AAA team could easily score some runs off him. Let's talk Senzi. I just made that up, but he's given up the most hits in the major leagues. Like I already said, if you skip the pitcher report, I will say it one more time. He's given up 6 or more hits in all 12 starts, 7+ hits in 10 of 12, 8+ hits in 9 of 12. 8+. That's a lot of hits, guys. He's given up 4+ earned runs in 7 straight starts. 4 more in 7 straight starts. This Mets team should have 4 at a minimum by the time they get to the bullpen. And oh, by the way, the Rockies bullpen is absolutely horrendous. We know it. Give me the Padres team total under 5.5, Mets team total over 4.5. And that is my first best bet. This second one takes us out to Cleveland, Ohio, where the Guardians host the Houston Astros. Guardians on the money line minus 112, Astros money line minus 108 with a total of 8.5 runs. I got a pitcher prop. I almost put a unit on it, but I'm going to go half unit. Give me Logan Allen under 16.5 outs recorded, minus 130 on DraftKings. Let's face it, I don't think Logan Allen is a very good pitcher. So let's talk about him this season. He is under this line in 6 of 10 starts, averaging 14.4 outs per start. Now, one was cut short due to a rain delay, so just want to let you know. But 3 of his 4 overs were right at 17 outs. He's only gone 18 outs, 6 innings, 1 time. So a pretty low ceiling here. This is a guy who has 38 strikeouts and 25 walks. That is a terrible strikeout to walk ratio. His whip is 1.59. We're going to see lots of base runners here. It took him 97 pitches to get through 3.2 innings versus Detroit a couple starts ago. He's just not very good. In fact, some more numbers: 9th percentile in whiff rate, 18th in K rate, 18th in walk rate, 25th in barrel rate, all not good. When you look at run value, which Baseball Savant has on his pitches, all are in the bottom 8th percentile. That's them saying his pitches are no bueno. That's for sure. He is not good or efficient. I like him to go under here, but let's talk about the offense he's facing, the Astros. Here's the wild thing about the Astros. First of all, I know I've told you back them at home, fade them on the road. Doesn't mean we can't get an under outs prop, though. I'm not asking them to get 7 runs or anything. But the Astros have faced the fewest lefty starters in the entire league. So that's what makes this a little tough to handicap on this part. Only seen 6 lefty starters the entire season, and 2 of them were Bubic. They've scored 5 runs off Bubic in 11.1 innings. He has a low ERA. He's a good pitcher. We know that. And they've done pretty well against him. They crushed JP Sears for 10 hits and 9 earned runs in 3.1 innings. Crushed Kyle Hart as well. Again, he's not a very good lefty. So it's hard to know exactly how good they are. But so far, it's been a nice start with the small sample size. And they have righties that they have proven they can hit lefties in the past. So I'm not too worried about it. Overall, it's about Allen's command, his inefficiency. And then Astros could hit him around or at least work his pitch count. There's many ways that I think they can get him out. I don't think Logan Allen has a very deep or a big leash with this Guardians roster or management because he's not very good, first of all. And also the top bullpen arms for the Guardians fully rested. So they're going to be all available. They'd rather go to him in a jam in the 5th inning instead of Logan Allen seeing a lineup for the 3rd time. That's for sure. So I like Logan Allen under 16.5 outs as my second best bet. All right, this third one takes us out to Cincinnati, where the Reds host the Arizona Diamondbacks. D-backs moneyline minus 112, Reds moneyline minus 108 with a total of 9 runs. And that's my best bet. Give me the over 9 runs, minus 120 on BetMGM for half unit. I took a little extra juice on this total. You know, I don't even really think we need it, but I'm going to take it here. It's moving to 9.5 on some books. And again, I still like it there. But a 4-4 tie when you have a 9 is a push at worst. So starting pitcher matchup, Eduardo Rodriguez versus Nick Lodolo. Rodriguez was absolutely awful before he got hurt. 44.2 innings this year, 7.05 ERA, 1.7 whip, a terrible 36% ground ball rate. That is not good. He is going to give up fly balls with the possibility of home runs, especially here in this park. Like I said earlier, 4+ earned runs he's given up in 4 of his last 5, 3 earned runs in that other start. 58 hits given up in 44.2 innings. What I also love, he's not going to go that deep into the game. And we'll talk about the Reds offense versus lefties later, which means we're going to get D-backs bullpen. That's always a good thing. Nick Lodolo, been decent this season. Swing and miss stuff is not there this year compared to last year, but he's been good at working out of jams, not been good at home, understandably, because, again, pitching in Cincinnati is hard. This is a straight hitter's park. He has a 6.15 ERA at home with a 300 average against. That's terrible. Giving up a 5.18 slugging at home compared to a 273 slugging on the road. That's like double. That's just crazy. Great American Ballpark, if you don't know, Great American Small Park, whatever you want to call it, is a tough park to pitch in. A lot of home runs happen here. He has a 4.53 xFIP at home. In his last 4 starts, he's given up 3, 3, 6, and 4 earned runs against the Cubs, White Sox, Nationals, and the Mariners. So let's talk offenses. The Reds. Here's the one worry, obviously. It's the Reds. I'm not supposed to be betting on them. Ryan didn't stop me here, but they're hard to trust. I'm not sure why I'm betting their game, but they've struggled versus lefties last 3 weeks a little bit. But guess what? Eduardo Rodriguez is just as bad. He really is. And they have the 9th highest walk rate, which is going to come in handy against Rodriguez. I think they'll get some base runners via the walk. And then again, like I said, they're going to see the D-backs bullpen with Eduardo on a pitch count. But again, I almost went with the D-backs team total over because I think they could carry the load here. They are an elite offense. Last 3 weeks versus lefties, 9th highest WRC plus, 6th highest slugging, 8th highest batting average. You guys know they got hitters up and down this lineup. They should not have a problem scoring against Lodolo, who just really struggles in this ballpark. And then bullpens. You saw it earlier in the bullpen report. The Reds and D-backs are both bottom 4 bullpens in the last 3 weeks. Both have an ERA over 5. I mean, they have blown games consistently. They struggle mightily. We have one of the best hitting environments in the league. Should be 80 degrees here. I like it a lot of runs. Give me the over 9 runs. That is my third and final best bet on the video. Like always, more plays will be coming. Be sure to check the pinned comments. But thank you guys for listening. Before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. Let's stay hot with the alt team total parlays. Give me the Padres team total under 5.5 and the Mets team total over 4.5 for a half unit. Then we got Logan Allen under 16.5 outs recorded for a half unit. And then the over 9 runs, D-backs and Reds for a half unit. I'm also looking at some underdogs as well. We haven't had a plus money underdog in a little bit. So there'll be added plays in the morning, like I said. But thank you guys for listening. As always, really appreciate the support. Hope you all have a great Friday and weekend. And we'll talk to you soon.